It's those bizarre bruises that had so many people talking during the Summer Olympics. Superstar athletes like swimmer Michael Phelps sported the ancient Chinese therapy called cupping that actually stimulates blood flow and energy. Now, many athletes are latching on to this alternative form of treatment. After losing their first game, the Trojans are ready to bounce back. They face off against undefeated Utah State. Now, the USC campus is packed with energized fans in a highly anticipated home game that could turn out to be a real nail-biter. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know who Colin Kaepernick is and what he did or didn't do that sparked the nation's attention. The Rebels are up against UCLA, the toughest team they'll face all year. The Bruins have been dominant in their last 18 home openers. What's your biggest concern for tonight?
Actually, we're quite excited being from Las Vegas. Coach Sanchez is in his second year.
LA Angels pitcher Matt Shoemaker dodged a potentially career-ending injury earlier this week. Stunned fans watched as he was struck in the head by a 105-mile-per-hour line drive. He was just released from the hospital, but won't be back on the field until next season. The USC campus was bustling with energized students and Trojans fans for the team's home opener against the Utah State Aggies. But the perfect football weather couldn't mask the dark headlines still lingering over this prestigious athletic organization, a sexual assault scandal involving two of its linebackers. Star player Osa Messina's investigation stretches from LA to Utah.
I think it's really important for the university to take hold of this situation and hopefully it doesn't negatively affect our team.
While head coach Clay Helton wouldn't comment on the investigation, he says this negative press hasn't impacted his players. Many USC students are also hoping for a positive outcome for Messina and the second football player, Don Hill, who's been thrust in this investigation. Detectives labeled him a suspect in the alleged incident in LA.
I don't think they're a representative of the entire football team or our campus in general, but I'm really waiting and looking to see how our campus or our university responds to this.
As for his possible criminal involvement in this controversy, Messina's attorney told reporters this is a case that should play out in the legal system instead of the headlines. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Julie Tate.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles, and they're out here having a blast.
On a typical Saturday morning, when many kids are still home in their PJs, these LA youngsters are up bright and early, pounding the pavement. A home away from home for students in this inner city community, thanks to a powerful youth organization providing a safe alternative to the streets. Heart of Los Angeles.
I come here every day to practice. I want to get better in basketball. I want to make it to the NBA. I just always come here on time.
In fact, many of them do, says athletics director Bruce Hooks. He has seen the transformation their basketball and soccer programs have had on these children. The campus, more than 2 decades old, was once a breeding ground for drugs, gangs, and crime. Over the years, community leaders worked to create a more positive environment for kids, from rebuilding their old gym to providing new academic, arts, and athletic programs.
Through great partnerships like the LA Lakers Foundation, working with Pepperdine University and a handful of others to continue to make this possible, USA Basketball being another one, is an awesome experience that they will probably never get if this court was not here.
It's not just points, but also grades Hooks has seen skyrocket over the years. Just ask 14-year-old Quentin.
I think it's good because they don't just talk to you about basketball. They say, how's your grades? Like, are you doing well? Or listen to your parents.
While some may have started life with a challenging disadvantage, this center has created unlimited opportunities for those reaching for the stars. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Julie Tate. It was a bloodbath tonight in Austin as the Longhorns took on the Fighting Irish. Let's take a look at the highlights. First quarter, the Irish strike first as Deshaun Kaiser looks to a wide-open St. Brown. That'll put 6 up on the board for Notre Dame. Shane Buechele responds with a 19-yard pass to our Monty Foreman, and the intensity picks up from there. Fourth quarter, the clock winds down as both teams are tied and we are headed into overtime. In that extra period, Tyrone Swoops comes off the bench to put the Longhorns up on the board with a 3-yard run into the end zone. But it doesn't take long for Deshaun Kaiser to answer. 25-yard pass to C.J. Sanders. And the Longhorns are in shock. Double overtime, the Irish get the ball first, but struggle to get a touchdown. They would have to settle for a field goal and hope to survive. UT takes advantage here as Tyrone swoops Supermans into the end zone and saves the night. UT wins 50-47. Let the celebration begin in Austin tonight. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know who Colin Kaepernick is and what he did or didn't do that sparked the nation's attention. After receiving a tremendous amount of backlash from the public and the media for sitting during a pregame national anthem, Kaepernick is now receiving an overwhelming amount of support from fans who agree with him for standing up for racial injustice. Support coming in the form of social media followers especially. Since Kaepernick took his stance, his social media following has spiked over 35,000%. Not only that, his jersey recently went from being the NFL's 20th most popular jersey to being its #1 bestseller. Kaepernick took to Instagram earlier today to announce that he will not be keeping the proceeds from his jersey sales, but will rather use that money to give back to the community. The NFL blew the whistle on a 9/11 tribute after Tennessee Titans linebacker Avery Williamson planned to wear a pair of red, white, and blue cleats while playing in today's matchup. The league reached out to the player and advised that he would be fined for a uniform violation if he chose to wear the shoes. Williamson responded by saying, quote, "I do not want to draw negative attention, so I'm fine, just going to focus on playing the game." While he may have hung up his cleats to avoid an argument with the NFL, star players like New York Giants receivers Odell Beckham and Victor Cruz are expected to wear a similar pair of cleats in today's matchup. They may not back down so easily.